Switching from Team Fortress 2 to Overwatch, well, you've came to the right place. Team Fortress 2 birthed that addicting team-based shooter genre, and as the years went by, other companies took that game we all know and love and put their own twists to it. Since then, games like Overwatch and Paladins and more were birthed and enjoyed by many, each being unique and fun in their own respective ways. Because of that, there's many similarities between characters, and if you played a lot of one of these games, chances are you already have a foothold in the other. This video covers the character similarities between TF2 characters over to Overwatch characters. And I know this is a little late, being it just turned 2020 and Overwatch has been around for a while, but Overwatch 2 is coming out and the hype is getting real. So let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yes. Yes, we are.
If you play the engineer a lot in Team Fortress 2, you probably love that incredible utility he adds to the team. He's considered the builder of Team Fortress 2 and loved by many utility and support mains. In Overwatch, Symmetra and Torbjorn are your go-tos, and that's because they're both the builders of Overwatch, and they also provide a lot of damage and utility like the engineer can. As for Torbjorn, his primary shotgun is very similar to the engineer shotgun. They both build very similar sentries, and they both can do a lot of damage respectively. As for Symmetra, she also builds sentries, not as similar as the engineers, but she can stick on the wall a few of them and they can all do a lot of damage together, and she can hold down choke points like crazy. She can also build the teleporter a lot like the engineers. And I would have to honorably mention Bastion here if you liked using that Wrangler weapon on the engineer to control your sentry, and that's because Bastion himself can transform into a stationary mini turret and kill from there. Or if you just like the fact that you have so much utility for your allies and you can support them in many ways, then I would try all supports of Overwatch, because not only do they heal, but they all add utility in their own way. The Sniper is Team Fortress 2's long-range killing character, and just like the name says, the sniper user of the game. With a lot of practice, you can become a killing machine, and it's really fun with all the aiming involved. Sniper players from other games usually congregate to him too. In Overwatch, Widowmaker is the most similar to the Sniper because she's a damage character that uses her sniper rifle. She retains all the fun of that aiming mechanic too, and just like the Sniper, she has a way to watch her back while she's focused into her scope. Where the Sniper has his Razorback to negate the spy's backstab while aiming down his scope, Widowmaker has her Venom Mine, which she puts at her flank, so when an enemy comes to flank her, it'll notify you when it's walked over. Hanzo is another long-range damage character who uses a bow. If you loved using the Sniper's bows in Team Fortress 2, you're gonna love Hanzo. Ashe is the third long-range damage character, which you might also get a kick out of. She uses her rifle, which can do a lot of damage close or long range. But if you're looking for more pure sniper rifle action, Ana has one too, except she's a healer. But you can still aim down the scope, shoot rounds long range to damage enemies, or shoot at your allies to heal them. The Spy is TF2's lavish assassin and backline character. He's every assassin player's dream, using those sneaky techniques to get to the enemy's backline, like cloaking himself by going invisible and disguising himself as an enemy. Once he's there, he silently executes unsuspecting enemies with a backstab. It's an instant kill. The Spy also adds great utility where others can't by using his Electro Sapper to disable and destroy engineer buildings. In Overwatch, Reaper and Sombra's playstyles are closest, with a couple others following behind. Reaper very similarly gets to the backline very sneakily and silently like the Spy, and with his high damaging shotgun, melts people at very close range like the Spy's fast killing backstab. Sombra's also really similar to the Spy. She can get to the backline quickly by going invisible just like him. Not only that, Sombra has very similar utility that negatively impacts the enemy team with her hack ability. The Spy uses his Electro Sapper to disable and destroy engineer buildings, cutting off damage, healing, and ammo the enemy gets. Sombra kinda does the same by hacking medkits to be unusable by the enemy team and regenerate quicker for yours. She can also hack enemies from using abilities. Other than that, if you play the Spy to flank and backline, check out the other flanks of Overwatch. Reaper, Sombra, Genji, Tracer, and Doomfist are all considered flankers in Overwatch. They're all really mobile, do a lot of damage close range, you get to the backline fast. The Heavy is Team Fortress 2's lovable tank. He's the only pure tank of Team Fortress 2, being big, bulky, slow, and having the most health. He can sustain by negating damage and can also heal himself with things like his legendary sandwich and other foods. He's the ultimate meat shield and fires his heavy Gatling gun called the minigun. Where TF2 has one sole tank, Overwatch has a handful. D.va, Orisa, Reinhardt, Roadhog, Sigma, Winston, Wrecking Ball, and Zarya are all tanks of Overwatch. They're all big, bulky, have high health and protections, and tank damage for their team with things like shields or their personal health. Out of them, D.va, Orisa, they all have similar Gatling gun style weapons that slow them down while firing, just like the heavy, and it feels a lot like him too. If you love the heavy's high damage though, someone like Roadhog or Reinhardt have very high kill potential. But really, all the tanks work if you love frontlining and tanking damage as the heavy. The Demoman is Team Fortress 2's demolition expert since he uses weapons that fire high damage grenades and can place traps like sticky bombs. He's also highly mobile, using his explosives to rocket jump around the map. The Demo can assert high area damage and can do it safely since they bounce off walls. He can also bait people through walkways into sticky mines or control points with them. People also go Demo Knight with him, basically giving him a melee playstyle by equipping boots that help the playstyle, a shield so that he can charge in, and using his melee weapons to kill. If you love the Demoman in Team Fortress 2, you will love Junkrat in Overwatch. He is Overwatch's Demoman. Junkrat's frag launcher is identical to the Demoman's grenade launcher since they both fire grenades that take a second to detonate or explode instantly when struck into an enemy. If you love the predatory technique of placing sticky mines in walkways as traps, Junkrat has a steel trap ability which snares unsuspecting enemies that walk into it, guaranteeing a kill. And if you love the Demoman's ability to rocket jump around the map and use his weapons, Junkrat can do the same with his concussion mines. That and Pharah also flies around the map, gaining the high ground with a jetpack, shooting explosive missiles, kind of feeling like the Demoman herself. The Medic is Team Fortress 2's main healer. The Engineer can heal slowly with his dispenser, but the Medic's healing is way more potent and available. He can quickly heal his allies with his medigun or give them protection with other mediguns. He can also heal from a distance with weapons like the Blutsauger and the Crusader's crossbow. He also has his powerful Ubercharge ability, which turns him and the person he's healing temporarily invincible. In Overwatch, Mercy and Ana are very similar to the Medic, along with other support heroes. Mercy's Katika's staff is identical to the Medic's medigun, quickly healing single allies with a beam. Her Katika's blaster feels a lot like the Medic's primary weapons too, firing slow and weak projectiles. As for Ana, her biotic rifle is just like the Medic's Blutsauger or Crusader's crossbow. It damages enemies but heals allies when you shoot at them. Ana's Nano Boost ultimate is just like the Medic's Ubercharge too, picking a single ally to turn them nearly invincible, with similar aesthetic appeal. But if you just like healing as the Medic and keeping your allies alive, Ana, Baptiste, Bridget, Lucio, Mercy, Moira, and Zenyatta are all supports of Overwatch, meaning they add healing and utility to the team. The Scout is an absolute high mobility warrior. He's extremely fast and hard to hit. His playstyle is one of the funnest since you can run around the front line like crazy, inflicting high close range damage and never getting hit. Because of his speed and small size, he can be a huge distraction wherever he is and incredibly hard to hit. In Overwatch, Tracer and Genji are the most similar to the Scout, along with other flank heroes. Tracer retains the Scout's very high speed and mobility playstyle, being able to blink and rewind and being hard to hit and confusing the enemy, so she feels a lot like the Scout when you play. She also does very high close range damage like the Scout. Genji too feels a lot like the Scout because he's very fast and mobile. Genji also double jumps just like him. And finally, Genji's deflect ability is similar to the Scout's Bonk Atomic Punch item since they both negate incoming damage. If you love the Scout's high close range damage and mobility though, along with his backlining potential, all flanks can suit you. And when I say all flanks, Doomfist, Genji, Reaper, Sombra, and Tracer are all flanks. Soldier is Team Fortress 2's rocket launching damage character, which he uses to inflict high damage. He's also very mobile because he can rocket jump to gain a high ground. Also, he provides some utility to the team by adding movement speed or midi crits with specific items. In Overwatch, Pharah is the only rocket user. Just like Soldier, she uses a rocket launcher that inflicts high area damage. She also has a high ground advantage like Soldier since she has a jetpack that keeps her in the air. Her playstyle feels a lot like Soldier's that way. The Pyro uses his flamethrower to inflict top tier damage close range, rivaled by none. He can take out most enemies in seconds, just like the Soldier. The fact that he's a close range damage dealer makes him good at frontline damage and a great tool to storm confined areas like capture points. He also can shoot air blasts, which pushes enemies back and cleanses allies if they're on fire. In Overwatch, there are no pyromaniacs like the Pyro, but flankers like Reaper, Sombra, Tracer, Genji, and Doomfist all do very high close range damage. Well, there you have it, folks. Team Fortress 2 to Overwatch conversion, character similarities. The similarities are so uncanny that if you're already good at Team Fortress 2, you switch over to Overwatch, you get used to the different mechanics a little bit, you'll notice that you already have a foothold in Overwatch just because the characters are so similar from Team Fortress 2. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please leave a like and send this to your friends too. I appreciate it.